Crowder.
Yes.
Was at Texas A&M yesterday.
He loves Che Guevara. It's his go-to, man. It's his normie go-to. Look at that. Can you believe that Che Guevara guy? Can you believe him? Yeah, I can.
Yeah, he makes jokes that like my grandfather would make. It's very cringe. So he was at Texas A&M.
Your grandfather has a reason to at least have a mild obsession with
Cuba.
Che Guevara. You know, like it's not like it's not like your grandfather's trying to be hip with the kids.
Right.
Can you believe these socialists? It's like, no. I know people personally that man killed. Like, I don't like him.
So this is the Q&A section, and you were pointing out earlier that he is just fucking meticulous.
Oh, yeah. Well, what he did was, here's what they did. And I'll do this chronologically correctly. So our guy that was out there, well, we had a guy that was coordinating guys out there, and he was like, yeah, we're going to get him to do this. I was giving him pointers. I was telling him what to say. I was telling him all the chinks in this guy's armor. I was really trying to get him to really hit him hard. So guy starts telling me right away, he goes, it's packed here. There's a lot of people wanting to talk. I don't know if we're going to get it, whatever. So he's like, some of our guys got picked. All right, this is good. So we're coordinating. Then he comes back and he goes, basically they pulled them all in a room and they screened them hardcore, but hardcore screened them. Then they made it where they put all the Mug Club members at the front of the line.
Really?
Mm-hmm. They also had a thing set up there so you could sign up for Mug Club. Like, so people were signing up for Mug Club. And he was doing this thing where he's like, there's an after party, but you can't go unless you're a Mug Club member. And then they shilled Mug Clubs memberships at the college. Yeah. So he...
Oh, this motherfucker. Everything he does.
He's a piece of shit.
You want to talk about fucking grifters, man.
So there's a dissident right black guy. I forget his name, but he'll show up in this video. He's one of the first guys to get a question in, and you can tell he's one of our guys. He gets up there, and I was like, we're talking whatever, and I get a message, and the guy's like, black dude's low-key with us. And I'm like, oh, okay, cool. So the guy goes up there, and he's asking this question. I was like, how did he get up there? And he goes, well, everybody got pulled into a room and screened. Mug Club members only, but they let him go up first because he's black. It was all so transparent.
Of course. Of course. The typical token question because you want to look how diverse you are.
Then he has a plant. He has a Venezuelan plant. He just happens to have a guy him and his mom happen to be from Venezuela.
Wow, that's crazy. What a coincidence.
He happens to be based.
What coincidence.
Yeah, and he even, this is such a great video. But anyway, let's, we can show him. The black guy goes up first, so this is kind of where you can skip, I think, I don't know, 20 seconds or so, 30 seconds or so.
It's okay. We can let him build up.
Okay.
We got a man in a gorilla costume. We got Betty. Okay.
He's doing a contest,
we got Bob Ross. I appreciate it. Oh, all right. You know what? I will say that's getting pretty close. Who else do we have? What do we have here? We have Obi-Wan Kenobi. I could give you this, but I'd rather you find a girlfriend.
Imagine being in college. And instead of going to a Halloween party where you're gonna fucking drink and maybe get laid or something, you go, nah, I'm gonna go ask questions to Crowder.
Well, half of this crowd is there sarcastically.
That's a good point. That's a good point. And I can see the black guy already.
Mm-hmm.
Are you Stalin? Stalin, okay. Are you Moses? Oh, you're Marx. Okay, you're.
He's good at crowd work. That's what they call him. They call him crowd work Crowder.
Marx and you're Che, right?
Crowd work with
Just
Crowder.
like
Yeah, crowd work with Crowder.
I am, okay, but I gotta say, mine's better because I have the crappy beard. Joker. All right, listen. Who thinks...
Stop yelling. You have a microphone. I hate that. I hate when people do that.
So loud.
I hate when people do that. It's a pet peeve of mine. You have a microphone. Just speak.
Who thinks that Bob Ross should get it here? Put them up. Okay, because he did actually have a painting of Muhammad. Who thinks? So
fucking gay ass shit. The people that are actually his fans there, it's a fucking gay ass shit. It's these jokes that maybe 10 years ago were a thing, but
maybe you just don't get comedy, dude.
You're right. You're right. No, you're right. I don't.
Don't follow him home tonight. Wait, you are what? You're Goblin Slayer. Is that a real thing?
I like
like that one. I'm not as familiar with it. I see a bunch of robes, gorilla. You know what? I think you guys give a round of. Let's give it to Bob Ross right now. Come on up. Come on up, Bob Ross. And we got an email from the Bob Ross estate. Is it okay if I dress up like Bob Ross? They picked someone else, and thank you guys so much. Where we actually sit down and discuss issues, and we're not on this crazy time limit. I remember sitting down with some friends saying, what if we just actually tried to broadcast this conversation?
He's already saying a crazy time limit. He's already setting up that he only has so much time. That's what he's doing, yeah. Come on.
And didn't edit it at all, and didn't make it a debate with other political talking heads who were trying to get, a retainer from a nonprofit, but just people who are actually trying to discuss these issues like you have at your dinner table.
Okay. Is it right around here?
Thank you, Donovan. I appreciate it. Give it up for Donovan.
After this guy?
All right, so Donovan, pause. Donovan's the first person up. He's a child, literal child.
Okay, we can play that.
Well, it's not worth it. I can tell
just
you
like
that.
a little bit of
All
it.
right.
Just like a little so we get to.
The whole point to change my mind is to rationalize your position and actually listen to each other and hopefully be able to use the Socratic method in your own everyday life. So we don't treat it like a debate. It's not nearly as aggressive as a debate, but sometimes, people come in hot. They're coming in.
Fucking relax, man.
Well, he was like this the whole night.
Outrage! And you're like, okay.
He was, I think he doubled his dose.
Thank you very much. Donovan?
Yes.
Thank you, Donovan. I appreciate it. Give it up for Donovan.
Get ready for hard-hitting questions, Royce. Get ready. Now, remember, Donovan was picked first.
Of course.
So.
Because he has a bedtime.
Get ready. Get ready.
Based?
For an ambush. Get ready for this kid to really rip Crowder's face off.
And I believe, yes, we have a question over here. Yes, sir.
Hey.
What's your name, sir?
Oh.
Philip.
So I thought we were gonna. All right. So
I
Donovan.
guess probably.
Donovan basically said, "Have you ever done a change my mind that wasn't productive, and at the end you just felt like maybe you weren't reaching the person?" That was the question. Crowder spoke for about 4 minutes answering that question. So it becomes very apparent right away last night. Then I get a message from our guy on the ground. He's running a fucking clock out, dude. I don't know if we're going to get up there. And I said, it's okay, man. Like, look, because he was feeling like he was letting us down. And I'm like, brother, Crowder's a tough nut to crack, man. You know what I mean? It's not on you if you can't get up there, but you're trying. But yeah, he decides, all right, I'm going to take like 4 questions. And every question is going to have a 20-minute. At one point, somebody asks him, and it's another Mug Club guy, hey, I got a question for you. What's your favorite type of cigar? And everybody starts. Royce, he talked for 5.5 minutes answering that question. He answered, what's your favorite cigar? It took him 5.5 minutes to answer. He was so obviously jacked up on Adderall and running out the clock that it was like, all right, calm down, dude.
Anderson, it's nice to finally see you.
What was that?
I'm Philip Anderson. It's nice
Philip.
to finally see you in person.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
Oh,
What's your question?
Well, it's kind of a lot. Gonna try and make it fast. So basically, my name got banned for being a black person who's not a fucking slave. And I'm proud of that.
Wait, you got banned for being a black person who's not a slave?
Yeah, that's literally what happened.
Where from?
I mean, I literally just said things like, hey, if you vote Democrat, I think you're a slave. And they banned me. I'm not even kidding.
Well,
That's
who's
what I said.
they? Like you mean like slave owners?
I mean, like
they were
big
like,
tech.
we don't want him plowing our fields.
All right, here's it.
Like, what do you mean? Like, if you're like, I'm not going to be a slave. Like, all right, you're free to go. You're like, you're banning me now?
I mean,
Does everything have to be a bit? Yes. Everything has to be a bit?
Royce, when you're panicking and you're trying to run out the clock, the answer to that question is yes. I'm not even going to lie, man. I hate Steven Crowder, but he's doing exactly what I would have done. Like, you know what I mean? It's like watching somebody who's got game, and you're like, you're good, man, because I would have done the same thing. Yeah, if we had some kind of massive, disgusting feud with Nick Funtes and there was a whole sea of Catholic kids holding up crosses waiting to ask questions, yeah, I would stretch out. I'd run out the clock, and I would turn everything into a wacky loud bit too. Woohoo! And by the end, you'd go, what just happened? It was 20 minutes of him yelling and gesticulating on the stage and doing Arsenio Hall and George Lopez humping the couch bits, and then he was gone. Like, I don't even, like, he's handling this like an expert because it's a whirlwind of bullshit, and by the end, you're like, I'm exhausted, and I don't even know what happened. I got to give it to the guy.
Oh, seriously. Like, these people, they fucking whip me. Like, go ahead, look up my name, look up New World Patriots without putting the number 2 at the end. It won't come up.
Okay.
It won't come up because they blacklisted me. And the thing I want to ask you about, well, first of all, I want to congratulate you for actually having the fucking balls to talk about free speech. No one does it. TPUSA Charlie's a little pussy these days.
Okay. Sorry, I'm trying to.
And what's funny is this guy's up there, right? And as soon as he's like, yeah, hey, man, how you doing, Crowder? I got the message. Black guy's low key with us. So I was like, okay. I was waiting on it. And then he fucking chair shot.
Charlie's a little pussy. Now, Steven and Charlie Kirk are buds.
Not according to this.
No? Is he not anymore? Is that what?
No, he's just like, oh, I don't really pay attention to Charlie Kirk.
He's lying.
I know.
He's lying.
He also, at one point, you're going to love this. Later on in the video, you're going to love this one. So somebody goes up and asks him, hey, just curious, Steven, you've been really vocal about tech censorship and blah, blah, blah. But there are 3 particular YouTubers who've been deplatformed altogether. What did he say? He said Nick Funtes, James Alsop, and Vincent James of the Red Elephants. If you're going to stand up for tech censorship, will you stand up specifically for these 3 people? And right away he goes, yeah, I don't know who Nick Funtes is. Out of 3 people, he named 3 people, and his go-to was Nick Funtes. I don't even know who that is. Like, I'd have to look more into it. He was, yeah.
That's right.
I don't, one thing is I'm not going to get into the conservative infighting and insult anybody.
All right,
that's not
that's
why
cool.
I'm here. And
I won't
I've
ask you
never
to do
met
that.
Charlie, but all of my
We are
interactions
proud
with
of
people
your
who work for me.
courage. We don't ask you to attack people because we know all the proxies will go after you. We know. Okay. We're just proud of
the
you.
epoxies? Like, do you mean like
No,
the stuff
I
you
mean-
put on a tile?
Wow, he really, oh my God, he really is just stretch. I gotta stretch. It's like if you have 5 minutes of material and you go, hey, we're gonna give you 10, and you're like, I don't have 5, I have 5, I have to stretch.
You mean like epoxy that you put on like tiles?
No, he knows exactly what he's talking about.
He's funny, though, man. He's funny. He's being funny guy.
No, I mean the proxies on
I gotta tell you,
Twitter.
if that's the reason you were banned as a slave, you probably weren't great. Like if you think like, I'm gonna put epoxy here. Like what? I just needed a coat of paint. Piss off.
How do people defend this guy? Like every time we talk about Crowder, people defend him and say, no, he's a good guy. This is funny to you guys?
This is why I say they're right when they call us cattle, because we're cattle. People are dumb. People need somebody to buy a mug from.
I'm not your slave. All right, your question, sir.
So basically, my question is, what are we possibly going to do if Conservative Inc. just completely goes libtard on us with what we're seeing right now, with what they did to Nick Funtes, where they barred him and they silenced him and they...
And this is how you do it, by the way. All these other people that, like you pointed out earlier, holding a crucifix and stuff like that. Like, this is how you get your question. Use their language. Like, I don't think this is a guy who still says libtard. I think there's someone knows this. Just do say normie conservative things, and that they'll accept it. Oh, a black guy who's saying libtard, we'll get him up there.
Yeah, we were saying on Nightwave last night. I was actually like brainstorming live on the air and giving them ideas on how to get into the future events, because the whole wearing a suit, the Groiper look, the fucking crucifixes, that shit's not going to get a microphone in your hand. So you got to move on. You got to go to the next thing. I was telling him, you got to look like schlubs. Like, you know what I mean? If you're going to go, wear a fucking t-shirt fresh from Walmart. Wear a fucking MAGA hat. Be fat. Be out of shit. You know what I mean? Being like a schlubby.
I'm in.
Hey, exactly.
I'm in.
I'm in.
I got perfect. Immediately. I got it.
You know what I mean? Like heist music playing in the beginning. I'm in.
Fired their own fucking employee for being in a picture with Nick Funtes. Charlie, you're
I don't know
crazy.
who Nick
He didn't say
Funtes
that. I
is.
said it.
Okay.
Fuck you, Charlie. Anyway.
Fuck you, Charlie, is what he said.
Yeah, I like this guy. He's all right.
I'm not going to get into the conservative infighting, even though I talk about censorship all the time. Not when it's on my side. I won't talk about censorship when it's on my side, because I really have no morals, and I'm a fucking sociopath.
Yeah.
The point is, if we go by the left's rules,
Right.
then they win.
Okay.
Because they're getting exactly what they want. We just can't do that. We're giving them exactly what they
Okay,
want.
I just want to make sure because we do have a lot of people here, and that's why we have
Yeah,
to split
I
this up.
apologize.
So what's the question exactly?
The
Just so I don't-
question
We
is,
do have a lot of people, but I could make an epoxy joke and talk to a 5-year-old.
Like tile, you mean like tile?
I fucking hate this guy.
But he's so
Somebody
nervous.
just wrote, okay, Steven Crowder.
how do we stop Conservative Inc. from doing this? Because it feels like it's almost impossible.
How do we
The
stop
boxes and
conservatives from
everything.
becoming libtards?
Well, how to stop Conservative Inc. from being fake conservatives and demonizing those of us who actually believe in free speech and standing up for people who want to speak freely?
Okay, well, it's a pretty broad question, so I'm going to try and...
Yeah.
Hey, remember when I said epoxy?
Get ready for him to pull a. Get ready for Crowder here to really kind of reveal how little he thinks of these people.
Yeah, it's not that it's a hard one. It's that,
Okay,
it's almost,
well, you're a
almost
smart guy.
nonsensical. But I will say this in the sense that I can't answer for any other conservatives. I can answer for myself.
It's almost nonsensical? No. The question made sense. It's a very clear sentence.
And also, this is the other thing I get really mad with these fucking fake conservatives. You notice they always do this. They always revert to libertarianism. They go, well, I can't speak for other conservatives. All right, I can only speak for me. And I know me personally, I would never do it. Okay, great, Stephen. But these are the people you have on your show. You give a platform to. These are people who cut you checks to come speak at colleges. So it stops being a matter of, well, me personally, I don't know, because you are only as good as the people you're in bed with. And you're in bed with these people, Crowder.
Yep.
So if you're in bed with these people, yeah, motherfucker, you do need to answer for them. That's how it works. If I'm working as, if me and Royce take on a fucking sponsor of some local company or whatever, and then it turns out that they're trafficking children and fucking them to death in a dungeon somewhere.
Finders.
People are probably going to come to us and go, you keep promoting this company, but I hear they're raping babies to death. What's that? Look, I can only speak for myself. I speak for other conservatives.
Now, like it's almost like if you were a huge YouTuber and you undertook like some sort of mental health sponsor.
I'm glad
And
you
they're
brought
really
that up,
not
Royce.
helping people?
Folks, BetterHelp.com is a mental health advocacy service. And for a small fee, you'll be ignored and kill yourself. Sign up today.
What I did was I bought BetterHelp.org, and it's a porn site, kind of like what WhiteHouse.com.
Go to BetterHelp.com. Use promo code DillyDilly for 10% extra charge to your account.
Well, let's see Mr. Crowder fucking wind this one up.
So I know that we have defended free speech for people who are conservative. We have defended free speech for people whose views we even view to be completely reprehensible.
Even black people.
And even people like Tulsi Gabbard, who, when we saw an injustice, we tried to right it.
I'm so sick of fucking conservatives defending Tulsi Gabbard and being like, look at us defending Tulsi Gabbard. Look at us, how great we are. Shut the fuck up. You just have her on there because she went after Kamala Harris. And look, we've talked about Tulsi Gabbard and all this stuff, but and it's okay to defend her. You should defend her. But when they tout it, we've defended Tulsi. Look at us. Look at how good we are. Oh, yeah, look how awesome we are. We defended Coconut Milk Mommy. Look how great we are. Like, stop, man.
Also, it's really easy to defend a woman when you want to eat her ass.
Yeah, of course. That's why I will always defend Scarlett Johansson.
Exactly.
Always, no matter what she does.
I'm a Natalie Portman guy, but it's the same thing.
Natalie Portman. You almost pulled a Brendan Schaub. Man, I love Natalie Portman.
Yeah, man, it's like Natalie Portland.
Yo, B.
She was in that, She was in that Starfight movie.
Starfight.
Yeah, whatever.
Fucking Callan doesn't even correct him.
He doesn't anymore.
Yeah,
He's
yeah,
like,
Dirty Jobs. I love Dirty Jobs.
Starfight was a good movie.
It's a good movie. They always say,
remember that movie with Luke Cloudfucker? He was fighting all the robots.
Luke Cloudfucker. But it's easy. Crowder. It's really easy to say all these people you defend. Wow, you're defending you're defending a member of Congress. Wow, you're defending people that are easy to defend. The biggest sin to me with Crowder is he ignores a lot of people that are uncomfortable to defend. Mm-hmm. But then he'll play it off like, oh, I don't know who they are. But I would have a lot more respect for Crowder if he were to go, you know what they're doing to Nick Fuentes is fucked up. I'm not an idiot. I know what's happening. That's some bullshit. They shouldn't be able to go after people. Even if Crowder said, look, I don't agree with anything Nick Fuentes says. I completely disavow it. But they shouldn't be censoring the guy. The problem is it's guilt by omission. That's with Crowder and all of these Blaze TV types. It's that guilt by omission. It's that guilt by, if you don't talk about it, you are ignoring it. And to pretend like you don't know what's going on when it was fucking trending on Twitter. Crowder knows this. When they benefit Crowder, he knows all these little tiny things that no other people you really have to search for. So to sit here, if anyone to believe that Crowder doesn't know who Nick Fuentes is, doesn't know what's happening to him, and saying like, well, I don't know, I have no idea what's happened to Charlie Kirk. You're telling me you went to a TPUSA, Mr. Meticulous guy, and didn't kind of see the feel of it before you went and did it? Like see a couple old ones and go, all right, let me see what this is about. Let me see what I'm going to do. That's my problem. It's easy to sit there and go, oh, I don't know them, because then you could say, well, I never disavowed anybody. I'm just ignoring it. I'm ignoring it and pretending it's not happening, because you don't want Mark Levin to bring you into his office and fucking yell at you and throw books at you.
Or Glenn Beck.
Oh, sorry, it's Glenn Beck now. I apologize. It's Glenn Beck now.
Your new master.
You're right, the new master.
I would hope, I can't speak for every conservative in the movement, but I would hope that everyone out there who's in a position of authority in the conservative movement would agree with me on that, regardless of where they line up on, I don't know, the war on drugs, or regardless of where they necessarily line up on certain economic issues. I would hope that we could all come
Israel
together and support freedom of speech, because I'm looking at an entire room of people who...
And he moved the goalpost. Did you see what he just did there?
Yeah,
there it goes.
He's masterful at it.
I mean, show of hands or round of applause, anyone here who doesn't support free speech? Okay, so if there are any people in the conservative movement who are leading it, yeah, I think those people should be outed, but I don't know them. So thank you for your question. I appreciate it.
I don't know them. I'm not aware of them. Fuck you. Yes, you are.
These people are all liars, and I love that you guys are going up there and making them commit to their lies. That's the important thing. Get up there and make them commit to their lies.
All right, you, sir, Alex P. Keaton, yes.
Nice reference for a college crowd, an Alex P. Keaton reference.
Is there any other place I should...
Michael J. Fox started his career playing Alex P. Keaton. How long ago was that? That was the 80s.
80s, mid-80s. Yeah.
So
these are going to be normie questions, I'm assuming now?
Yeah, I'm trying to remember what this guy asks.
Well, we'll just play it.
What's your name? What's your real name?
Ben Crockett.
Wait, no, you look like that guy. What's the name of the guy in Seinfeld who kept beating George Costanza with the same...
We have to hurry up. There's so many people. But then he's going to make a Seinfeld reference where he doesn't even know the guy's name.
He runs the clock out on every
That's
question.
what he's doing. That's exactly what he's doing. This is a quarterback draw right up the middle. Just keep that clock going. Keep that clock going. Take a knee. Come on, we're almost done.
What is it? It's an incomplete pass that stops the clock, right?
Yes, correct. So if he's just running.
So they're just running for 1 yard each.
Yep.
Like, we're gonna keep running it. Here you go. Just watching that clock run out.
Sales and then went to the mental institution. Who knows what I'm talking about? What's his name? Okay.
He's asking a room full of college students if they get a Seinfeld reference.
Hey guys, what was that? Remember the name of the cousin from All in the Family? Anybody help me out here? I'm 20.
Anyway, he's a good-looking guy. It's fine. Go ahead. Okay, what's your question, sir?
So I'm Ben Crockett, and my question for you is, you did a video a while back on cigars with Dennis Prager.
Yes.
And I was wondering, what is your favorite cigar?
Well, that's the cigar guy. I forgot.
These are the questions that they're you're waiting in line to ask Crowder what fucking cigar he smokes. I just skipped ahead a bit because
Liberal. He's like, I hate these sons of bitches. And I was like, oh my God, thank you. Please be my bodyguard. And he was like, you can't afford me. I was like, you suck. So, as far as cigars, man, I don't want to bore people with it, but I have a bunch of favorites.
Whoa, I skipped ahead. You saw how much I skipped ahead, right?
I told you, the cigar thing he killed.
I skipped ahead like 6 minutes here, guys. Maybe 5, I'll say.
He killed a large chunk of time on cigars.
And if you think of a 45-minute video, that's a lot of time.
I like a lot of Perdomo cigars. I like Brickhouse cigars. I like Padron cigars. I like Nicaraguan cigars that tend to be Habano wrapper or Maduro wrapper cigars. And here's the thing, you know what's a good example actually? Cigars are a great sort of lesson for people in communism. Like Cuba, how many? Wait, hold on. What, do I not have credibility? Is that better? Cuba.
No, I'm sorry. Crowder thinks the costume was why he doesn't have credibility.
Yeah, no,
it's everything about you.
It's your lifestyle.
Yeah.
Right? They have this, like, everyone talks about Cuban cigars. And if someone says, I only smoke Cuban cigars, they're an asshole. So, Cuba, though, there is a
or they live in Cuba. And they could be from Cuba.
soil that they have, right? It's God's gift. There is a soil and a flavor, that in a Cuban cigar cannot be replicated, right? Here's what happened with Cuban cigars. They were the best cigars in the country, of course, before we signed the embargo. And I don't know
7 minutes.
if you know this, but JFK actually had his aide go out and collect over 1,000 petite.
Okay, I'm going to try to skip ahead a bit here. I have to. I have to try to skip ahead a bit. I'm going to skip a minute ahead.
To not be the best in the world, except for socialism and communism. So, roundabout way to answer your question. Thank you very much.
That was almost 10 minutes
About cigars.
about cigars.
Much. I think at the after party there might be a patio with some cigars. Yes. All right.
But you have to be part of the mug club.
Right. You, sir, with the glasses and the tie. Oh, but look at you. You're very spiffy.
Thank you.
I appreciate it. The knot's a little fat, but yeah. I say this with my pubic hair beard. It's a joke.
All right.
You really think I feel good about myself?
You should never feel good about yourself.
So since the legalization and normalization of gay marriage 7 years ago, we've seen decriminalization.
Hold on a second. Hold on a second. What was your name, sir?
Jacob.
Jacob. Okay, Jacob. All right.
So
Buying time. That's what he's doing. These are little tactics. You ask the name again or whatever, so you can now start thinking of your answer.
we've seen the decriminalization of transmitting HIV, transsexuals become normalized, child drag story hours at public libraries, chemical child castration in efforts to early transition, and pedophiles are rebranding themselves as minor attracted persons and are being welcomed into the LGBTQ community. So my question to you is, with all this happening, what is the threshold for mainstream conservatives to actually stand for Christian conservative principles and not just be progressives that are 5 years behind the curve?
Pretty good question. I'll be honest. That was a really good question.
Get ready.
That's a mouthful. No, I certainly agree. If anyone's watched my content, I've taken a lot of flack. The fig shirt, by the way, I think we'll be able to. This is just a fig. I wouldn't know a fig unless if you like. I've only ever had them in Newtons. But I will say, you kind of tossed a lot in there. So if we're talking about chemical castration of kids and transition, that's child abuse. Okay, that's wrong. And if we're talking about this idea that men and women are fundamentally interchangeable and you can declare yourself to be whatever sex you want. And by the way, the idea that gender and sex are different, that's a very new idea. Don't let your college professors sell you that. It's a very new idea. It started in the 1950s with French existentialists, again, the cigarette smokers.
Answer the question, Crowder.
He's gonna. Don't worry.
Oh, maybe
I'm gonna ask you before. Am I gonna be mad?
You're not already mad?
But even back then, they still believed there were only two genders. That's what's crazy. You go back to Simone de Beauvoir, they only believed there were only two genders. Then you had John Money. Are you familiar with John Money?
On Monday.
Okay, so are you familiar with the studies that he did?
2 boys and one.
Yeah, he had 2 twins, and he would put one in sexually dominant positions, right? This
And
was
they both
taught in
killed
school,
themselves,
and we found out both kids ended up killing themselves because he was a sexually abusive, I guess you would say, authority figure. Obviously, that's terrible, and it really took all the way up until, I think Judith Butler, she just came out and had a tussle with Naomi Wolf, which, 2 feminists having an argument. It's just a lesbian chain gang. Like, you don't want anyone to get hurt, but, it's not quite the Jets and the Sharks. It's just,
Good reference.
someone's D-perm gets tussled. I guess D-perms aren't still a thing. Who got a perm in the last few decades?
Neither's a
So I
West
think
Side
those
Story
things
reference.
are important. Now, I don't, and I've spoken against them for a long time. And something else as it relates, though, to gay marriage, because you toss that all in there. And I bet you that here you would probably have some conservatives who don't believe that same-sex marriage should be a thing, and certainly don't believe that it should be a federal thing. And then you probably have some conservatives here who share an opinion that I shared on Dave Rubin's show a very long time ago. This is when our channel was maybe, 100,000 or 200,000. And Dave Rubin asked me about same-sex marriage. And he said, well, do you support same-sex marriage? And I said, no. He said, what? And I said, listen, I don't give a rat's ass who you rump range. Like, that doesn't bother me. I don't care. But I don't think that marriage is a fundamental human right. I don't think that anyone has a birthright to get married. When we talk about fundamental human rights, we're talking about what? The right to speak freely, the right to worship freely, the right to protect yourself, your God-given right to self-defense, which is a firearm. Being married to someone, that's a privilege because you have to find a suitor, by the way. And for me, it was hard for a long time, in case you couldn't tell.
Self-deprecation.
Yeah, and also because you were homosexual, they were trying to fight your baser urges.
People weren't beating down my door. All of a sudden, I have a few million subscribers. I'm kind of cute. But he said, well, what do you mean? And I said, well, here's the thing. This was kind of new. I said, once you declare marriage a fundamental human right, then you infringe on the church because the church can no longer decide that they will not marry two men and they can lose their tax-exempt status, or a Christian business. And he said, well, that's kind of crazy. I said, well, trust me, that's what's going to happen because we had Canadian pastors who were jailed. I think...
It's not what the question was.
He'll get there. He's getting there.
Someone can fact check me on this. I think the guy's name was Boisson, who was jailed for saying, I'm never going to marry two guys in my church. By the way, notice Beto O'Rourke never says mosques, right? Like, any church you won't marry two guys, they should...
His mind is like, you know when you in those movies like Seven, when you go walk in a serial killer's room and they have all these like points on a map and it's just frantic and it's all over the place.
You know what it's like? It's almost like when somebody doesn't actually need Adderall but takes it anyway.
Yeah, you're right.
Almost like that sort of thing.
He talks like Joker's Notebook.
Should lose their tax-exempt status, and there's every mosque in the country like, we're right here. He's like, I don't want to get blown up, so you guys are fine.
The thing about sucking cocks is people expect you to act as if you don't. Little penis running.
Fucking great. That's really great.
Sorry.
So I think really a lot of those problems are solved by understanding the constitutional parameters of government. I believe anyone should be able to get a civil union that they want, and states can recognize that, and marriage should be in a church. Marriage should be something that the church recognizes, and civil union should be something that the government recognizes. Now, that being said, right, we go into why is marriage recognized by the government, okay?
No, stop it. He asked, he didn't ask about all this existential stuff you're bringing up. He asked, should the conservative movement be embracing these things? That is what he asked.
He's panicking.
Yeah, because he doesn't know what to say.
This is just something, a little history lesson. The reason we recognize marriage as a nuclear family, right? Mother, father.
Nuclear. It's pronounced nuclear.
And child is because
he says nuclear.
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 Right.
It's pronounced nuclear.
Federal government, before state government, before local government, we understood that the only way you could have a society is if the building block, the fabric of that society was a nuclear family. Doesn't take a village, it takes a mommy and a daddy. And so that's why I support, of course, the idea of traditional marriage. I think a child does best with a mother and a father in the home. I do not think that a man who identifies as a woman can give everything to a child that a mother can, just like I don't think that two men can give everything to a child that a mother and a father can.
Two higher paychecks.
I do recognize that states have the right to recognize civil unions as they want. My problem is when they start infringing on the church. So I think a lot of conservatives probably share that point of view. And I think, listen, there are differing point of views. The good news is we don't all have to be like the left in that we don't all have to follow lockstep and silence people we disagree with. But
unless it's Israel.
Thank you for your question, sir.
Sorry.
He didn't answer the question. He didn't answer the question.
I know.
He never answered. He knows exactly what this guy was asking.
He did this.
Should it be embraced? It's not a matter of civil unions, this and that, or whatever. But the problem is, you don't want to say anything that's going to get you in trouble with Dave Rubin, your little gay correspondent out there.
He did this the whole time. By the way, we're 3 questions in.
20 minutes almost. 20 minutes, 2 questions. Well, three. We have 3 questions here. Well, you know what? 2 real questions and 1 cigar question.
Well, no, 4, because we had a black guy, Donovan the kid, with cigar guy, and then this guy.
You're
so
right.
4. But 4 questions, 18 minutes, 57 seconds. This is insane.
Yes. All right, so is this an ironic communist hat?
Yeah.
Okay, good. I don't don't know. You got the military fatigues. You look a little pissed off.
No, actually, I was gonna buy the Che Guevara shirt, but my mom was gonna kill me if I actually did it.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Your mom's a Che Guevara fan?
Oh no, we're from Venezuela.
Oh,
Also.
okay.
There's the Venezuelan one.
So she's more of a Maduro gal.
Oh no, hell no.
Give me an M. Give me an A. Give me a D.
We don't have a lot of time. We got to get through these questions.
Royce, let it breathe. Let the bits breathe a little bit.
I wish he'd stop.
Crowder's putting on a show.
Give me I'm starving. Okay, go ahead. I'm joking.
You know when you're a good comedian?
You have to yell, "I'm joking."
Yes.
all the time?
After everything.
Or say things like, "This guy gets it."
This guy gets it. Hey, look at this guy. I'm kidding. Let me get a drink. Let me get you a drink. Let me get you a drink.
It's what?
It's actually true, so.
It's actually true? Your mother's starving and you say that laughing? You're worse than the Joker guy. He's true. My mommy's very hungry.
Well, I was.
Every now and then I throw like nerds.
Crowder, you just brought me up here to make fun of me.
Andy had her through a cage. I'm joking. Okay, what's your
I'm
question,
joking.
sir?
I'm joking.
Okay, so first of all, I would like to thank you and like everybody here present, because before I came to this country 2 years ago, everybody told me, and it was like common culture, that white people was racist and everybody with a gun was a crazy person.
Mm-hmm.
But I want to thank y'all to prove that all that is wrong, and I'm blessed to be in the best country in the world.
Thank you.
Wait, get ready for their total. This moment, by the way, is so organic. The crowd. I know.
I feel uncomfortable.
By the way, people are chanting USA at a conversation between a Canadian and a Venezuelan. I want to point this out.
It's a very, you know how to put, you're very good point.
This is literally like a WWE match from the 90s.
Yeah.
A Canadian who looks Arab is wrestling a guy from Venezuela who looks like an American cowboy, and they're battling it out, and people are chanting USA at the one guy, and you're like, they're both playing characters. They're both not from America.
Yeah, Yokozuna was Polynesian.
Oh, okay. Sorry, hold on one second. He said something. Say that real quick. I don't want to get back to your question.
All right. So again, a reminder: if you are in Mug Club, you're going to get an email. If you signed up for Mug Club today, you won't get an email just because the way the system works. You can sign in through your subscription, and you'll be able to see a video of me and Pantelis telling you about the details for the after party. So either email or video.
Get out of here. You got a dog road.
I bet
We don't have a lot of time.
I bet the after party was so lit.
Bet there was a lot of chicks there too. We don't have a lot of time. Okay, look.
I wouldn't go to a Crowder after party, even if we didn't like go to the event. Somebody goes, "Oh no, it's a Crowder after party. You guys can come." I'd be like, "No, God, no."
Well,
The
okay,
hotel
will be
bar
honest.
would be more fun.
I would go to fuck with him.
No, I'd just be like, "I'm gonna go to the hotel bar. This can't be good."
Joke's
on,
on you. The after party's at the hotel bar.
Fair enough.
You're fucked now.
Rows to get to. Okay. Now, sorry, I mean, he has to drown a baby. I don't know. He's my lawyer. Oh, I guess I should say chair. Now, listen, this is one thing that I do think is important because this is organic and this can't be faked. Okay? You just talked about 2 years that you've been in this country.
It can't be
And
fake.
when you first came to this country, you sort of thought that.
But
white
it
people
was
were racist,
fake.
everyone had a gun
You
was crazy.
picked who was going to ask questions. This totally was fake.
This isn't organic. This can be faked. Crowder gives himself away a lot. Not sometimes, a lot of times, right? Crowder gives himself away. Because in his mind, all he's thinking of is make it look real, make it look real, make it look real, make it look real.
This is totally organic!
This can't be faked!
Oh, sorry. My inner monologue came out. It's all the Adderall.
Jesus Christ, man.
And like, it was funny because I didn't know English that well whenever I came.
Well,
Yeah.
you still don't know
don't,
English that
brother.
well.
But I also used to.
We can skip ahead. This guy's just boring. I love America, you know. I love you. Do you have a?
Oh my God! Look how hold on.
Do you have a ice
look at
cream?
this.
E
Still him.
ice cream.
Still him.
E
Still him.
laundry detergent. Trash pickup. El farmacia.
Not 7 minutes talking to him is how long he spent.
Medicated.
7 minutes he spent talking to him.
Yes, Mr. Hawaiian Shirt. What's your name, sir?
Hi,
That
Stephen. I'm
looks like
John.
my old manager. He looks like my old. Seriously, looks like Matt. He looks like this guy's a dead ringer, dress wise, hair wise, look wise. That looks exactly like the guy I used to tour with. That was our manager.
John. Okay, very nice. Thank you.
So, Mr. Crowder, it's a question about tech censorship.
About what?
About tech censorship.
About tech censorship.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
After being demonetized by YouTube, you have been very anti-tech censorship. Yet, when nationalists who are more conservative than you are unfairly censored, like Nick Funtes being kicked off of PayPal and Politicon events, James Allsup being banned off YouTube and Twitter, and Vincent James being demonetized, you don't seem to have the same anti-tech censorship vigor. If you oppose tech censorship, will you strongly advocate against the censorship of these individuals specifically? And would you consider having Nick Funtes on your show to talk about where tech censorship is affecting conservatives online the most?
Well, listen, I appreciate the question. I'm not really familiar with Nick Funtes, so I can't promise that I would have him on the show, and I have no idea why he was removed. I do know that when I see
That's
it, when
a lie.
people were
He's lying. How come the things you only see?
Stephen, you said that you were not familiar with Nick Fuentes. The test determined that was a lie.
This is what I'm talking about. This omission. I don't know who he is. I'm not familiar with him. I won't have him on the show. You will have Blair White though, right? You will have Blair White on your show.
Blair White on, and every other. You have the Hodge twins.
Oh yeah, all the normie shit.
Yeah.
where it's unfair. For example, whether it's Tulsi Gabbard or we saw it with Dave Rubin, we've done everything we possibly can in our power to defend them. There's been
no. You've done everything you possibly can to clout chase people as big or bigger than you.
That is correct.
us, but there are also some people who get removed who have smaller channels that we don't necessarily even know about. So I can't answer the question because I'm not familiar with Nick Funtes. I've had some.
It's huge right now. There's no way he doesn't know. He's such a liar. And you stupid assholes that like this guy, eat it up.
People ask me in the past if I will defend folks who've actually violated terms of service by doxing people. I have no idea if he's done that. I assume that he probably hasn't. But anytime somebody is simply being targeted and silenced because of their opinion, regardless of how unpopular it may be, yeah, I don't think that people should be deplatformed.
But I won't have them on my show, and I'll pretend that I don't know them because I don't want to be in hot water. I don't want to get kicked out of Blaze TV the way they fucking kicked Gavin out because of the fucking Proud Boys thing. I don't need that to be me. Daddy needs his mug money. You're fucking phony. You're fucking phony.
He keeps answering the questions with, well, yeah, personally, I'm against that sort of thing. Okay, but what are you going to do about it?
You have the platform, fucko.
You know, that's like saying, yeah, I'm against this sort of behavior and I'm against this person being harassed. I'm not going to do anything about it because I don't want to risk it. But he leaves that part out. Oh, yeah, I'm not going to do anything about it. But personally, yeah, I'm totally against it.